They just wanted a break, a simple road trip, but what started as a fun getaway for SpongeBob and his friends turned into something way darker. Lost directions, creepy strangers, a vehicle that seemed cursed, and the weirdest part? The more they tried to get home, the deeper they went into chaos. It felt like the road wanted to trap them. Every turn brought more danger, more confusion, and just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it did. There's one moment in the episode that flips everything, a single choice that turns a goofy trip into a nightmare. This wasn't your usual Bikini Bottom adventure. It felt like a warning. So what really went wrong on SpongeBob's wild road trip? Why did everything spiral? And what does it say about the show's darker side? Let's dive in. They hoped for extra cash, coffee, and cool science experiments, but it was just a slideshow in the end. Mr. Krabs burst in looking for treasure, Squidward came with his nose in the air, and Sandy had her lab coat with her. But SpongeBob? He wanted to do things in a very different way. Little by little, students peered at the screen as SpongeBob turned off the lights. Welcome to my family vacation. You could feel the disappointment. As always, Patrick was in front of the movie snuggling with popcorn, but the rest, silent, shifting in their seats. They didn't expect this to happen, yet something about SpongeBob's happiness made me want to join in. All of a sudden, they decided to rest where they stopped. An unfocused photo of SpongeBob's parents flashed on the screen. Then the story started to unfold right there. The group made plans to visit the Great Barrier Reef next. I was looking forward to a calm and smoothly organized trip with my family, but you've seen this happen time and again. Nothing's ever calm with Patrick. Shortly after starting the trip, Patrick decided to try a game of hide and seek. While they were driving, he hid from Rustedy by covering the windshield with his starfish body and yelling out, "You can't find me!" The carer drove the boat directly into a mall after swerving off the highway, a full shopping center. People scattered, mannequins flew, SpongeBob's dad blew the horn, but only circus music came out. So far it sounds ugly, but this gets even worse. They started heading down the wrong path and wound up at a racing stadium. They weren't only watching from the stands, they were contributing to the action, leaping out in front of racers. They were launched into space, not metaphorically, actually space, floating, screaming. They came across a cow that was floating in the sea. No explanation, just a cow. After zooming straight up, the birds fell down and came crashing down. Back to Earth, covered in soot, boat totaled. Vacation ruined? Not quite. Unexpectedly, they both started to sing. The Road Song, a classic. A bouncy, happy-sounding song that distracts you from the damage done to the satellite. He had such good intentions, even though it was silly. Everything seemed to be fine for a brief period. SpongeBob and Patrick sounded like two great friends, and his parents applauded happily. The chaos took a pause. That song, it did something. It brought them together and made them feel like one unit. Nevertheless, joy in Bikini Bottom does not endure for very long. As soon as the song finished playing, the engine blew up. Literal flames, smoke everywhere. Their vehicle stalled in a wild place, and with seagrass nearby and no good cell service, they were trapped. They steered their damaged boat to the closest place they could see was a service station, but it was a very creepy rundown place with a dim open sign above it. It had the odor of stale kelp dogs. As I looked inside, I saw an outhouse and one old fish that didn't talk at all. They were told to wait for hours. SpongeBob's mom encouraged SpongeBob and Patrick to play together and spend their time. Then they discovered the old and broken playground, rusty swings, tilted slides, and somewhere in one of the rooms, a big and creepy pipe slide that hadn't seen any use for many decades. Needless to say, they let go and slipped down it. Because, of course, they managed to avoid the bottom of the playground. Nope. They came to rest in a valley that glowed in the darkness. It felt so fake when it happened. It was too quiet, too empty, like time had forgotten it. No people, just signs for souvenirs and gift shops that had been abandoned long ago. Patrick was thrilled. Best secret place ever, he said, licking a rock. SpongeBob wasn't so sure. Something about it felt off, as if those places hadn't been created just for them. They kept wandering and looking at the unusual sections and spooky statues until they managed to escape. They came back to find SpongeBob's parents, and it seemed something was not the same. At first, it was just chaos on the trip, but now it was becoming a bit edgier. Eventually, their boat was fixed. It should at least be fixed well enough to get us the rest of the way. The ride back was quiet. No songs this time, just reflection. Looking out of the window, SpongeBob let his thoughts wander. Patrick was lying down on the floor, seeming to be asleep. SpongeBob's mom hummed quietly. Sitting in the car, the man couldn't help noticing that his father was practicing safe driving. After coming back to Bikini Bottom, it was like everything had gone back to normal. With a big, cheerful smile, SpongeBob finished showing his slideshow to the guests. So that's what we did on our trip. Then Mr. Krabs coughed. Sandy blinked. Squidward rolled his eyes. But someone clapped. Then another. Slowly, the group started laughing, even if the vacation was not my best ever. Not because it went smoothly, however, this was so SpongeBob. The show has a lot of chaos, unusual moments, and plenty of heart. An event that is so unlikely that you wouldn't even believe it unless you saw it in person. The fact is, everything did not turn out right. As soon as we started, our trip turned into a complete disaster. They ran their cart through a mall, soared into space, got misplaced a number of times, and crashed into a free-roaming cow in space. Just from being himself, Patrick almost caused the boat to sink. They ended up in trouble, suffering from hunger and being far from their destination. Let's remember how SpongeBob plays a big role in this. And Patrick slid down a broken playground slide and ended up in a place that it didn't feel like the rest of the ocean. It was quiet, too quiet. The signs, the empty buildings, the fake grass, like it had been built for someone but abandoned long ago. It wasn't fun. It wasn't funny. It was just strange. And when they left, they never talked about it again. Not once. Not even SpongeBob. But here's the thing nobody's really thinking about. That valley. It wasn't on any map. And SpongeBob hasn't stopped thinking about it since. So maybe the question isn't just what went wrong on the trip. Maybe it's something deeper, something none of them fully understand yet. Maybe it's not about where they went, but what followed them back. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and comment.